everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a collab with the lovely TanyaRachelMakeup. She's a lovely Irish blogger that I follow both here and on Snapchat, and we thought that we would bring you a beginner's makeup starter kit, if you like. Now I'm sure you know by now how much I love MAC, so I'm doing a MAC starter kit, and I feel like this will be great for people that are just starting out with makeup and don't really know what to get when they walk into a MAC store, and also for those that are either starting out in makeup artistry or for established makeup artists that don't necessarily use MAC. I thought that I would just pick out some of my favourite products and share them with you. Like me, Tanya is also a makeup artist, and I feel like the majority of what she uses in her kit is Inglot, and that's a brand that I don't really come across very often. In fact, I think I only have one Inglot product, and that's Duraline. So she's doing an Inglot makeup starter kit, and I'm so interested to watch it because I just love finding new products to try out. So I will link that down below, and before you go, don't forget to check out her video. But I'm going to get right into it and show you some of my favourites. First off, I'm going to start with foundation, and I actually have two. I really like the Studio Fix Fluid and the Studio Sculpt. Both of these foundations have SPF 15 and they are both full coverage. I feel like the Studio Sculpt is a bit fuller and it's quite thick, but it is easy to work with, and it does give you a much more sort of semi-matte finish, whereas this one's quite glowy. Now this one does oxidize on me, and I know that a lot of people have problems with MAC foundation. I feel like they recently changed the formula and it does oxidize, and I've heard of it breaking a lot of people out. Fortunately that doesn't happen to me, and I love this foundation. I've worn it for well over 10 years and I wear them both in the shade NC42, just in case you wondered. But what I love about MAC foundations is that they have such a large shade range, and for me I always struggle with finding the right undertone. Nothing is ever yellow enough, and I find that this is the perfect foundation. If you have Asian, olive, tanned, Mediterranean skin with a yellow undertone, then you need to try this foundation. I do find that it is very yellow, so if you're not a fan of that, then I'd recommend trying this one. It's a little bit more neutral, but it does have the yellow in it. It's all just down to personal preference really, but as you may know, I'm a huge fan of MAC foundations, and I feel like if you're a makeup artist, you just can't go wrong with having a whole range of MAC foundations in your kit. They cater for very pale skin all the way up to very dark skin, and I just think it's a fab all-rounder foundation that I just think caters to so many different skin types. Moving on to skincare, I feel like I'm going backwards with this, but I don't really have a plan. I'm just picking up products at random. But I love this MAC Fast Response Eye Cream. It's so weird. I feel like most people wouldn't even think to look at skincare in MAC, but I've had this in my kit for so many years. If, like me, you have loads of fine lines under your eyes, this is amazing. I don't know if it does much in terms of skincare, because I feel like with eye cream, you don't really know until years later, but this is such a luxurious feeling cream, and it comes out really lightweight, but it's really thick, really hydrating under the eyes. Not only is it great if you have dry eyes, but I feel like it plumps up the skin and fills in some of those lines and wrinkles, and I always use this underneath my concealer. I just find that it helps the concealer to go on really smoothly. It makes your skin look as flawless as possible, and it's just such a great product. If you're a makeup artist, you definitely need to try this on mature skin. It makes so much difference. Sticking to the eye area, I thought I'd move on to the MAC Prep and Prime highlighters. I love these, and I have two. I have the shade Light Boost and Peach Luster. I do use them for two different things though. So the Peach Luster is a great orange toned concealer. It may be too dark for very pale skin, but it works really well under my eyes. It's a really thin fluid, so it's really hydrating, really moisturising, and it's just great. And I also love using Light Boost as a highlighter all over my face. So you just twist the product up and it pushes out through the brush, and this is a shade of it. It does look a little bit scary, but once you sort of blend it all away, it's so gorgeous. It leaves a very natural finish on the skin, and I just think it suits so many different types of skin tones. It really is beautiful. There we go. So it's kind of got that very natural, almost satin-like glow, so it's not shimmery. Also, one thing that you definitely need in your kit, in your makeup bag, wherever, is MAC Strobe Cream. I cannot express how much I love this stuff. I feel like MAC were the first people to ever bring out a strobe cream. I could be wrong, but I've had this for years, and you literally need the tiniest amount. that is probably way too much. But there's so many different ways to use it. You can use it as a moisturiser, you can mix it with your foundation for a glowy finish, you can tap it onto your cheekbones for like a liquid glow, you can use it underneath your foundation but just in all the places that you want to glow, so like the bridge of your nose, tops of your cheekbones. You can do so much with it, but my favourite way of using it is I just tap it onto the tops of my cheekbones like this, but underneath my foundation, and then I just stipple my foundation on with a damp sponge, and it just leaves the most gorgeous natural glow underneath my skin. I'm just obsessed with this stuff, and I just feel like everyone needs to try it. But I've just put this on top of my foundation now, and you can just see the lovely glow. It's very daytime appropriate too, and you can definitely build it up with a stronger powder highlight for an evening look if you just want to go a bit more glam. Going back to the under eye area, this is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I think this is the best concealer they do. Mine is awful, really grubby. I really don't like this packaging. I feel like you just get way too much out with the pump. And again, that is just too much. But this concealer is so full coverage, it's insane. It's waterproof, it's sweat proof, and believe me, I've put that to the test. And it also doesn't crease as much as other concealers do, which is so great. And if you can find your shade, then I think that you definitely need to give this concealer a go. Unfortunately for me, they don't do an orangey shade that's good enough to hide my dark circles. The closest that I have is NW35, but I find that it's quite pink as opposed to orange. But I do have NC42, which is the same colour as my skin tone, so it just hides any blemishes, gives me a little bit of extra coverage. Sometimes my nose gets a bit red. I just think this is such an amazing concealer. I wish they did more shades in it. My next must-have, again like the Strobe cream, is something that you definitely need. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're a pro, if you only started wearing makeup yesterday, I don't know, you need MAC Fix Plus. I've written a whole blog post on this giving you 10 ways in which you can use it, but my favourite way to use it is to just get rid of any powderiness or cakiness that's on the skin after you've done your makeup. All you do is you grab your Fix Plus and you spritz your face, like so, and you just let your skin drink it all up, and honestly it gets rid of all the powderiness, all the chalkiness, and it's just amazing. Don't be fooled by the name though, this is not a setting spray, this is just a fixing spray, so it won't make your makeup last any longer. But if you do have it and you just want to know of any other ways to use it, then I'll link my blog post down below and you can go and check that out. Moving on to MAC paint pots, these are like the original cream eyeshadow and a primer in one. I just love them so much. I have so many different shades, but for a starter kit I would recommend getting 1 of 3 maybe. So I only have 2 out of 3, but I'll tell you about the third one. So this is Painterly. This is a nude pink toned flesh shade. And this is what it looks like. So it neutralises any pigmentation on your lids, and it acts as a really good primer and base for eyeshadow. If you have darker skin like mine, you can just use this on the lid to make any lighter shades pop. They also have soft ochre, which is basically the same as Painterly, but it's yellow toned as opposed to pink. So if you have a lot of yellow undertones in your skin and you want to use that, then that would be a good alternative. I just don't have it to hand with me. But lastly, I have Groundwork. So this is quite a unique shade. It's actually really nice on its own, just all over the lid, blended out as an eyeshadow. But if you have darker skin or very pigmented lids, then you could also use this shade and use it as a base. I actually have so many different paint pots. I have them in golds, in greens, in blues. You can just use them as an eyeshadow on its own. You can use it as a base for pigments, for glitters. You can do whatever you want with it. And honestly, it will last you forever. I do feel like it's a little bit pricey in comparison to their other products, but I've literally had Groundwork for about 2 years now. It is kind of going off, so maybe it should go in the bin, but just to show you, I mean, I've hardly made a dent in it. Moving on to highlighting, I have 2 MAC Mineralize skin finishes. This one is soft and gentle, and it's such a cult product. You'll see why in a minute. And this is Global Glow, and I feel like this one isn't as popular as Soft and Gentle, but depending on your skin tone, you may want to use one or the other. So I'm going to put one on each cheek just to show you. So I'm going to take Soft and Gentle first. This one is definitely more of a silvery, almost champagne shade. It has a lot of pink undertone to it, but it's also quite champagne-y. Like it almost looks different in different lights. I think this is amazing for pale skin, but I also really like it on my skin tone too. It's just personal preference, but I kind of feel like I sit somewhere in the middle, so I can get away with wearing both shades. But again, if you prefer one over the other, then I would just go with that. So I'm not sure if you can make it out, but it's just got this gorgeous kind of silver sheen to it, and I can definitely see why it's hyped. I'm just going to flip my brush over and go into Global Glow on the other cheek. This is definitely more of a bronzy tone, and I've seen it on girls that are just a little bit darker than me or a lot darker than me, and it looks so good, but for some reason I just don't like it as much on my skin. I feel like it kind of looks a little bit muddy, doesn't really give me the highlight that I want, but I don't know, I kind of feel like this is a bit more daytime appropriate. It's just not as in your face as this. So Soft and Gentle definitely is my favourite, but definitely go and try both because I know that Global Glow looks amazing on darker skin. There we go, I've just mixed the two together so that I don't look like a weirdo for the rest of this video. I feel like no MAC starter kit is complete without me mentioning MAC lipsticks. I'm sure you all know by now how much I love MAC lipsticks, and I've picked out my 4 favourites, I think. This was very difficult, but I think I've got it down to 4. So from left to right we have Mare, Kinda Sexy, Velvet Teddy and Relentlessly Red. These are just my 4 absolute favourite MAC lipsticks. So the first 3 are all a matte finish, and the last one is retro matte, which means that it's very drying on the lips. But I just love the shade of it so much. I think it's really unique, and I know that a lot of people say, oh, I don't see the fuss over MAC lipsticks. You can get so many other affordable ones that are just as good. But honestly, I think I disagree. I mean, I have tried amazing drugstore lipsticks that are really good quality, don't get me wrong, but they're just not MAC. And equally, I've tried much higher end lipsticks, all the ones that are much more expensive than MAC, and to be honest, I've been very disappointed. I feel like if they're that expensive, they need to be amazing, and they really haven't been. I just always go back to MAC. But if you do want to see my full MAC lipstick collection, I did do a video about a year ago, so I'll try and link it up here or down there somewhere for you. In fact, everything that I've mentioned I will try and link down below in the description box for you, so do make sure that you check that out. But I'm going to move on to the very last thing because I feel like this video is becoming quite long. Now, I do agree that a lot of MAC brushes are very expensive, but I feel like if you're going to invest your money in just one place, it should be brushes over makeup, because brushes really are the key to good makeup application. They will last you years. In fact, I've had some of my MAC brushes for wow, almost 10 years now, so they do last a very long time, and it's definitely an investment that's worth making in my opinion. The top 3 eyeshadow brushes that I would recommend from MAC are the MAC 217, which is perfect for actually picking up a little bit of eyeshadow, working it into the crease. You can blend out any eye makeup with this, and it's just a great all-rounder, slightly tapered blending brush. The next one is also a blending brush. This is the MAC 224. Now, this isn't great at picking up products, that's not really what you want to use it for. This is just perfect for blending everything all out right at the end, and it just gives you such a great finish. And lastly, I have the MAC 239. This is the perfect shader brush. I just feel like it's quite flat, it's dense enough, it picks up a lot of product, it's perfect for packing on colour onto the lid, and you can also just use the edges of this brush just to do a bit of blending. So these are definitely the 3 brushes that I would recommend from MAC. And that concludes my starter kit. As always, if you feel like I've missed anything out, then please do leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to go and watch Tanya's video too. I will link that down below along with everything else that I've mentioned in this video. I'm actually really excited to watch her video, although I feel like my credit card might hate me, but I'm also going to link all of her social media down below. But if you do one thing, make sure that you check out her Snapchat. She just seems like the sweetest girl, and she's such a great makeup artist, so definitely go and check that out. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit this subscribe button if you haven't already. It would mean so much to me. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!